Digicel Summer Rush.
Nobody's doing it big like Digicel this summer. Top up with $1,000 or more and collect the letters to spell the word RUSH for a chance to win one of 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs. Yes, you heard it right. 3 brand new Toyota Rush SUVs.
Driving style for the summer. Hey, Digicel Summer Rush.
Start topping up now.
Guyana, please join me on the Glenn Lal Show, 99.1, 99.5 FM, Kaieteur Radio, every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you missed that program.
Good evening, welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Without further ado, let's get to the news in detail. Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat yesterday admitted that the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement is lopsided, that its terms do not give the government as much benefit as it would have hoped. Minister Bharat went on to say that a strong local content policy is the way Guyanese will benefit from the sector. The minister's statements come after weeks of sustained protests by Kaieteur News and Guyanese home and abroad for a better deal. The protests build on years of exposure and advocacy for the free press, for a better deal for Guyana. Former petroleum advisor and to the government, Dr. Jan Mangal, in 2020 addressed the attempt by the PPPC government to use local content as a substitute for a fair deal. The petroleum consultant said on Kaieteur Radio that while local content is important, it cannot claw back all of the value lost from the lopsided Stabroek Block PSA. Dr. Mangal said that the local content is peanuts compared to the prosperity Guyana could get from a fair deal. In other news, Guyana is following the same path as countries that discovered large amounts of natural resources such as oil by creating a sovereign wealth fund to manage their newfound wealth. This is according to Arthur Deakin, co-director at America's Market Intelligence Energy Practice. Mr. Deakin posits that the structure of the Natural Resource Fund fundamentally impacts how effectively the country spends and saves its monies. Mr. Deakin's position is that Guyana's current government should change direction and should steer towards adopting an NRF that mirrors Norway, not Kazakhstan, as President Ali and Vice President Jagdeo had suggested. Kazakhstan's management council is led by the president, prime minister, and other key political allies. This is again similar to Guyana, where the current structure of the fund gives the Minister of Finance significant influence. This consequently has been noted by Mr. Deakin to encourage political meddling and limit independent accountability within the fund. And moving on. An investigation led by 2 major federal agencies in the U.S., the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency and the FBI, has found that 13 American gas pipelines suffered several attacks during a 12-year period by Chinese state-sponsored actors. As a result of the foregoing findings, the U.S. administration has moved to strengthen its cybersecurity regulations, which previously offered a light veil of protection. Both agencies said the U.S. government identified and tracked 23 U.S. natural gas pipeline operators whose computerized systems were targeted from 2011 to 2013 in a spear phishing and intrusion campaign. Of the known targeted entities, 13 were confirmed compromises, 3 were near misses, and 7 had an unknown depth of intrusion. And now let's tell you, Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal yesterday submitted to judges of the appeal court that the issue over the constitutionality of the death penalty can only be fully remedied by Parliament. The Attorney General was at the time addressing the court in the case of 3 Coast Guards who were appealing the death penalty sentence they were given for the 2009 murder of gold miner Duiv Kant Ramdas. The case relates to Devon Gordon, Dion Greenidge, and Sherwin Hart, 3 former GDF Coast Guards who were found guilty of the robbery and murder of Ramdas in 2013. They were given the death penalty but have since applied to the appeal court to overturn their sentences by challenging the constitutionality of the sentence. And to wrap things up this evening, Let's tell you that we have learned that a man was shot twice to his leg on Tuesday for intervening in a forced gang initiation. The shooting incident reportedly took place in the Agricola community located on the east bank of the Amarara. Commander of Region 4A Simon McBean has confirmed that indeed there was a shooting in the area, but his investigators so far have not received any information that it was gang-related. Eyewitnesses, however, told Kaieteur News that it stemmed from a dispute over a forced gang initiation. An outsider had reportedly entered the community recently, and on Tuesday, while walking along one of the streets in the area with his sister, he was approached by a gang member. The gang member reportedly told the outsider that he must choose a side to be on. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up at 19 hours 20 is the Glenn Lal Show. Tell it as it is.